I used to tell people my hair was low maintenance, when really I just didn't know what was working against me. For years I wore the same shoulder-length cut because a stylist told me it was safe. And safe turned into aging me by a decade without me realizing it. Today I'm breaking down 3 haircuts that genuinely take years off a woman over 60, and 3 that are quietly doing the opposite no matter how good the color or the products are. I researched the worst style and beauty mistakes and the best fixes for women over 50, so you get real results, fast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1, the soft shag younger, plus the blunt bob, aging. Most women think a soft shag only works on thinner hair, but it's actually the opposite. The layers create the illusion of density exactly where volume tends to disappear first, right at the crown and around the temples. That's the part nobody explains, and it's why so many women skip the one cut that would actually help them. Here's the part you might recognize. You've got a cut that looked fine in the mirror at the salon, but in photos your face looks flatter, your hair sits heavier than it should, and there's this sense that your style stopped evolving sometime around 2015. That's not your hair failing you. That's a cut that was never built for how your hair moves now. The fix is the soft shag, but done a specific way. You want face framing layers that start at the cheekbone, not the chin, with the heaviest layering around the crown and temple area, and the ends left slightly textured rather than blunt. This isn't the choppy shag from a decade ago. It's softer, the layers blend instead of stack, and the front pieces are cut to graze just past the jaw so they catch light along your cheekbones. Why it works is simple. As hair thins with age, especially around the part line and temples, a one-length cut shows every bit of that thinning because the hair just lies flat against the scalp. Layering breaks up that flatness and lifts hair away from the head in the exact spots that need it. When you ask for this, be specific. Tell your stylist you want internal layering with face framing pieces, not just some layers, because vague language gets you a generic trim instead of the actual structural change your hair needs. Here's the snapback moment. Women who make this switch tell me the same thing within a few weeks. People start commenting on their face, not their hair. You look so rested. Did you do something different? That's the layering doing its job, softening your jawline and lifting your whole expression without anyone being able to point to exactly what changed. The before and after here is specific. Before, one-length hair sitting at the shoulder, heavy and flat through the crown. After, the same length, but airy through the top with movement around the face. Same hair, same length even, completely different read. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable, because the cut everyone assumes is the safe, elegant choice for our age is actually the one quietly working against you the most. The blunt bob, the one cut straight across, no layers, often hitting right at the chin, is one of the most requested cuts for women over 60, and it's also one of the most aging when it's cut this way. I know that's not what you want to hear if you've had one for years. Here's why it happens. A hard, blunt line draws a horizontal stripe right where gravity is already pulling at the jaw and jowl area. Instead of softening that transition, the cut outlines it. Add in the fact that blunt bobs are usually styled poker straight, and you get a shape with zero movement, which reads as stiff rather than polished, no matter how shiny the hair is. The fix isn't abandoning the bob. It's softening the line. Ask for the ends to be cut with a slight inward curve rather than straight across, and have your stylist point cut the perimeter, so the edge isn't one continuous blunt line, but slightly broken instead. Even an inch of length variation between the front and back pieces changes the entire effect. I had a client tell me she'd worn the exact same blunt bob since her wedding day 30 years ago, and the day she softened the line, her husband asked if she'd lost weight. Nothing on her body had changed, just the shape framing her face. Before, a razor-straight blunt line skimming the jaw, flat and rigid. After, the same length with a soft inward curve and broken edges, moving when she turns her head. That one adjustment is the difference between a cut that ages you and one that doesn't. So if you thought the shag and the bob were the only surprises on this list, wait until you hear what's happening with the cut almost every stylist recommends for thinning hair, because it might be making things worse. Part 2, the long layered lob aging. Stylists recommend the long layered lob to almost every woman who walks in worried about looking older. And that's exactly the problem. It's become the default answer instead of the right one. and most women never question it. You've probably seen this cut described as universally flattering. Past the collarbone, lots of layers, supposed to work on everyone. If you're wearing this length right now and feel like it's just fine, not bad, not great, that instinct is worth paying attention to. Here's the issue nobody mentions. Hair past the collarbone pulls the eye downward, away from your face and toward your neck and chest, areas where skin changes most visibly with age. It's not that long hair looks bad. It's that the length itself redirects attention exactly where you don't want it sent, while doing nothing to lift or define your face. The fix is bringing the length up, not drastically, just enough to shift where the eye lands. Collarbone grazing to just above the collarbone is the range that tends to work best, paired with layering that starts higher, around the cheekbone rather than the chin. This brings the visual weight of the cut up into the face instead of letting it spill past it. What changes is immediate. Women tell me the first thing people notice after this cut isn't the hair at all, it's their eyes. Because the layering and shorter length finally give the face somewhere to land instead of sliding past it down to the shoulders. There's a real difference between hair sitting 2 inches past the collarbone in one heavy length, and the same hair lifted to just above it with face framing layers. One drags the eye down. The other holds it right at your face, where you want it. I'll tell you something most stylists won't say out loud in the chair. They default to the safe length because it's easy to cut and rarely gets complaints, not because it's actually the most flattering option for your specific face. The cut that gets the most compliments is almost never the one that gets recommended first. So that's the long lob handled. Next up is a cut that sounds like exactly the opposite problem, but somehow ends up aging women just as much, for a completely different reason. Part 3, the Pixie with movement younger. Here's something that surprises most women. Short hair isn't inherently aging or youthful on its own. What decides everything is whether the cut has movement built into it, or whether it's just short and stiff. Those are two completely different results from the same length. If you've avoided going short because you're scared it'll age you, or you tried it once years ago and it felt severe, that fear usually traces back to one specific version of the Pixie. The helmet-style cut, cropped tight and uniform all over with almost no texture. That rigid, uniform Pixie is what people picture when they think aging short hair. And honestly, they're right to be wary of that exact version. It sits close to the head with no movement, which can make the whole style feel severe rather than soft, especially next to mature skin where softness does a lot of the work. The fix is a textured Pixie with longer pieces left on top and through the crown, cut with a razor rather than scissors so the ends feather instead of sitting blunt. The sides stay shorter, but the top has enough length to be pushed, tousled, or swept to the side, which gives you something to style instead of just having hair that sits there. This is the snapback moment worth sitting with. The right Pixie doesn't just shorten your hair, it changes how your whole face reads. Cheekbones look higher, eyes look more open, because there's nothing weighing the face down anymore. Several women have told me strangers started holding eye contact with them longer after this cut. Which sounds small until you realize that's exactly what disappears as a face gets weighed down by length and flatness. Before, a tight, uniform Pixie sitting flat against the head, almost helmet-like. After, the same short length, but with texture and lift through the crown, soft pieces falling slightly over the forehead. Same boldness, completely different feeling. I'll admit something here. The first time I saw this cut on a woman in her 60s, I assumed she'd always had short hair, that it was just her thing. She told me she'd had the helmet version for 15 years before switching, and it took one appointment to undo over a decade of the wrong texture choice. Now brace yourself, because the last cut on this list is the one almost every woman over 60 has been told is the flattering, easy choice, and it might be the most aging one of all. Part 4, the Washingio layered cut younger, plus the tight perm set style, aging. Most women assume easy to style and flattering are two different qualities you have to choose between. They're not, and the cut that proves it is one almost nobody asks for by name, because they don't know it exists. If your morning routine involves more than a brush and maybe a quick blow dry, and you've accepted that as just part of having nice hair, that's worth questioning, because the right cut should reduce your effort, not demand more of it. The cut is a wash-and-go layered style, shoulder length or shorter, cut specifically to fall into shape as it air dries. with layers placed to follow your hair's natural movement rather than fighting it. This requires your stylist to actually watch how your hair dries before cutting, not just cut a shape and hope it behaves. The why is mechanical. Hair that's cut against its natural fall needs heat and product to force it into shape every single day. And that daily heat is part of what makes hair look dull and aged faster. A cut that works with your hair's natural texture needs almost none of that, which means less damage and a softer, more natural look every day, not just on good hair days. Here's the result that actually matters. Women who switch to this cut stop avoiding photos taken right after they wake up or right after the gym, because the hair holds its shape without the styling effort. That shift from hiding to not caring changes more than the hair ever could on its own. Now for the cut that's the opposite of effortless, despite being sold as the low-maintenance option for decades. The tight, uniform perm set style, curled into small, even curls and sprayed into place. This style was genuinely practical decades ago, and the issue isn't the curl itself, it's the uniformity. Tight, same-size curls set in the same direction all over the head read as artificial rather than natural, because real hair texture, even curly hair, has variation in curl size and direction. Uniform curls signal set, not styled. And that distinction is what reads as dated. The fix keeps the curl but breaks the uniformity. Ask for a looser, larger curl pattern with the rod sizes varied across the head, smaller near the face and looser toward the ends, and skip the heavy hold spray in favor of a lighter cream that lets pieces separate naturally instead of holding them in a fixed shape. I watched a woman get her set loosened for the first time in probably 20 years, and the moment the stylist finished, she actually laughed and said she finally recognized herself again. The curl was still there. It just stopped looking like a helmet. Before, tight, uniform curls set close to the head in identical rows. After, the same curl type, loosened and varied, with natural pieces falling differently throughout. The texture is the same. The intention behind it is completely different. That's all 6. 3 cuts that take years off, 3 that quietly add them. And now you know exactly what to ask for the next time you sit in that chair. You now know the exact difference between a cut that ages you and one that doesn't, down to the layer placement and the curl size. And that's not small information. That's the kind of thing most women never get told directly by their own stylist. Which one surprised you most, the bob softening, the lob shortening, or the perm loosening? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. Next week I'm covering the color mistakes that work against every one of these cuts, so you'll want to be here for that. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Beauty Path, and I'll see you in the next one.